Roll call, please.
Mr. Ray?
Here.
Mr. Margraf?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of October 17th, 2019 and October 24th, 2019.
I recommend that we do approve the minutes for October 17th and October 24th, 2019.
I concur. Item A, contract with Hawk Enterprises, Inc. for Carolina Avenue, 165th Street to 169th Street, and Tennessee Avenue, 163rd to 169th Street lighting improvements.
I will recommend the approval of the contract with Hawk Enterprises.
And I concur. Item B, contract with Midwestern Electric for the 2019 Second District Lighting and Sidewalks Project. Funding already approved as well.
I will recommend to approve the contract with Midwestern Electric. Pardon?
She said no. I thought you said no to this.
They're pretty straightforward. Pardon? If you do want to take a peek at it.
Kevin? Do you want to see them?
No.
Let's defer.
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
Once again, I will recommend the approval of the contract with Midwestern Electric.
And I'll concur. Item C, contract with Davis Concrete Construction Co. for the Wolf Lake Ribbon Curb, Hammond Court, Maiden Lane, Forsyth Square, and Roosevelt Drive.
Another good one. Recommend to approve the contract with Davis Concrete Construction.
And I'll concur. Item D, change order number 1 received from Nice Engineering, Inc. for the 167th Street Sidewalk Addition Project with an increase of cost of $20,414.09. Good morning.
Good morning. We have not yet got the approval from the councilman yet, or the mayor's sign off. But if we could defer this to 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Okay. Do I have a recommendation to defer until?
Yeah, I'll recommend we defer this issue until December the 5th.
And I'll concur. Thank you. Item E, change order number 1 received from Nice Engineering, Inc. for the 164th Street reconstruction project with a decrease in cost of $71,951.71. It's a decrease, so I guess we're good.
Yeah, if it's a decrease, I'm going to recommend we approve the change order.
And I'll concur. Item F, correspondence received from the engineering department correcting a contractor's name on a council funding request. So there was an error in the contractor listed. It was previously listed as Hawk. It should be listed as Midwestern Electric.
Correct.
It is signed, well, by all of us. Okay. Can we get a new green sheet to attach to that?
Yeah, we can. I just wanted to make sure to keep the project moving, that we at least make sure
That's
publicly.
fine. Can we just get a new one to attach to it so we have a record of everything?
Right, okay,
So it was Hawk and it's now Midwestern?
correct.
Yes.
I'll recommend that we approve or correct the contractor's name on the funding request.
And I'll concur. Item G, correspondence received from Councilman Mark Kalwinski requesting $43,928.26 of gaming funds be allocated to the 2019 overlay program. This has been signed by the councilman and by the mayor.
I'll recommend we approve the correspondence from Councilman Kalwinski.
And I'll concur. Item H, correspondence received from Councilman Mark Kalwinski requesting $213,702.26 of gaming funds be allocated to the 2019 overlay program. Signed by the councilman and by the mayor.
I'll recommend we approve the correspondence from Councilman Kalwinski.
Item I, correspondence received from Chief of Police John Doty requesting Officer Christopher Watkins be promoted to the rank of 3rd class patrolman effective November 15, 2019. Elias Guido be appointed as probationer member of the Hammond Police Department to serve his 1-year probationary period effective November 14, 2019, and disposal authorizations received from the Hammond Police Department. we have the fortitude to get through those.
I hope I do too. Putting them in color now.
Really stinking.
I will recommend that we approve the chief of police's correspondence as well as his disposal authorizations.
And I'll concur. Item J, correspondence received from Fire Chief Jeffrey Smith requesting renewal of the proposal for the preparation of Medicaid ambulance cost reports 2019 through 2020 through 2021 with Malinowski Consulting, Inc.
And you're good with that, right?
Yep.
I will recommend we approve the correspondence from the fire chief.
And I'll concur. Item K, notice of violation hearing on property located at 419 Goslin Street. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. After initially inspecting the property with Code Commissioner Jaime Prieto, we were initially inspecting the property for conditions of the property, but after doing walkthroughs of the rear and the front property, we did some permit research on the property, and permit research indicated that the property was converted to a 2-unit from the storefront, but permit research shows that the storefront was originally supposed to be a living room and not an additional apartment, due to lack of fire separation and only having access to the basement from the front unit, and the rear does not have access. So we're asking that the board affirm the removal of the front apartment.
Is the property owner present?
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you state your name for us, please? Pardon me? Can you state your name for us, please?
Yes, Kathleen Camarena. Both units do have access. The original kitchens, I mean, I didn't separate those units. Both are original kitchens. I've never changed out the cabinets or anything. Those are old standing. They do have access to the basement on the other side.
When did you take ownership over the property?
2007.
And where are we in the process, gentlemen, with this situation?
I'd like to keep it 2 units if possible, and he said there's a firewall that needs to be put up. So, I mean, I can hire a contractor to come in and make sure that it meets the city code.
Our inspectors have given you the information that would
Yes.
be needed to do so? Okay.
Yes, the
So
firewall.
you're agreeable to the recommendation that needs to be?
Sure, to pull the permits and everything necessary.
We're working together to get this done?
Well, the property would have to be brought up to current code, and current code would not dictate this property to be a 2-unit property.
Okay.
And the reason why?
Well, because the year that the permit was pulled, 1948, the code was different back then, when it was converted from the old storefront, which is the front apartment, to the living room, which was supposed to be a living room, not an additional unit. So before you gained ownership of the property, back in that time frame, it was converted illegally to a separate unit. And when it was purchased by whoever the former owner before you also was probably not aware of this. And that's when we did this inspection. When we do these inspections and we do the permit research, if the permit research doesn't dictate it to be 2 units, then we cannot allow it to stay at 2 units.
Sure.
What's the issue with the plumbing now that you've got depicted here? No license was obtained for?
There was, when we also did permit research, there wasn't any old plumbing permits to show that the building was constructed 2 units, or to have 2 separate plumbings going on.
So are there any repairs that she can make to make it a legal two-unit?
We would have to, we would have to have,
Yeah, based on the lot size, I don't believe zoning would allow.
Okay, so it would require a zoning
A zoning variance,
change,
yes.
okay.
yes.
Is that considered like commercial or that area, storefront? Yeah, because there's a rental or real estate business on my right side, and then there's also a yoga, hair salon, restaurant, so that area.
Yes, a lot of the properties in this area have commercial fronts and then residential in the rear.
Okay,
The issue we had though was this commercial front was permitted back in the 40s to convert it to a living room for the rear unit, not a separate unit.
okay, so it sounds like she does want to try to move forward to make it a legal two-unit. However, that's going to require some repairs to current code as well as a zoning ordinance variance, right?
If the board would so wish, we'll entertain her getting estimates on what it would take to convert it to a safe two-unit. And that will give us opportunity to check zoning and make sure that it can be current zoning for a two-unit.
And it would give you, ma'am,
Yeah.
whether or not it's something that's doable for you
Sure,
from the cost standpoint.
Thank you.
Or it's not.
Yes.
Okay, why don't we do that? Let's set this over for status in a couple of weeks and allow you guys to do some more research on it and help
Would a
her.
couple weeks be enough?
2 good, or you want
I
3?
would say 4.
4? Okay.
Contractors, or especially this time of year,
Okay,
Yes,
on getting them out there.
yes.
So December 19th?
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll recommend we set this over for status till December the 19th, 2019.
and I'll concur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item L, notice of violation, hearing on property located at 4054 Sheffield Avenue. Is the property owner present? 4054 Sheffield.
Hello, let me get this.
You need to get the sticky notes on there for the,
All right, so after initially inspecting this property, me and Inspector Castro came to find that there was a non-conforming basement bedroom in this house. The ceiling height only reached about 6'8", and there were no egress windows present. We asked the board to affirm the removal. We have spoke with the owner. She has already pulled permits to remove the bedroom walls, so it has been removed.
So we have good notice on the homeowner?
Yes.
Is that the only thing that they needed to have done?
Yes, just the walls had to be removed and the basement had to be opened up.
They pulled permits for it, so they're moving in that direction?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want a status on this?
No, it's,
We'll be okay.
Okay. I'll recommend that we approve the findings for 4054 Sheffield.
And I'll concur. Thank you. Item M, status hearing on property located at 242 Doty Street.
The owner was represented by Attorney Molina. I have had no contact with Attorney Molina. So as far as the status of the property and what they're going to be doing, if we could notify, we'll notify the homeowner if Mr. Molina is still representing them or not.
Is this the one with the wall in the basement?
Yeah.
So then you want to, set this for status?
2 weeks? Just to.
Let's go through, we got Thanksgiving, and such, give us time to, make sure that the owner is understanding and Mr. Molina is still representing them.
So December 12th?
It's fine.
That's 3 weeks? Okay, I'll recommend we set this over for status till December 12th, 2019.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item N, rental registration hearing at property located at 3716 175th Place. Is the property owner present?
Good morning, Madam President. I believe this is a change of property management companies. The old property management was Property Boss. The new one is Max Properties. They are aware of our policy with the city because they manage quite a few other properties. They owe for 2018 and 2019. And since they're not here, I'm requesting a fine for both because they are aware of the policy and they manage several other properties in the city.
When you say a fine for both years, you're saying?
Yes.
When do they take over the management of these?
They took
Units.
over the properties from Property Boss in 16 and 17.
Okay.
Correct.
And they've been registered under
Yeah,
the Max
16 and
properties
17.
prior to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend that for, year 2018, they're gonna be fined $500. And also for 2019, we're gonna fine them the $500 for non-registration.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item O, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 6107 through 11 Noble Street.
John, were those single-family homes?
No.
No.
Row houses.
Row house?
Yeah. Mr. Cole has inspected the property. We've presented to the board a rehab agreement that's signed by the owner. We would request it to be approved.
I'll recommend we approve the agreement to rehab the property 6107 through 11 Noble Street.
And I'll concur. Item P, correspondence received from Telecom Services LCC advising maintenance work for Sprint will be done at 509 Douglas Street. And there's no time frame when this work will occur.
They just pulled their permit this week, Madam President.
Okay.
It's quite a large job.
It's not going to interfere with any of the,
No, nothing with the
Police.
They're doing everything on the antenna itself.
okay. For acknowledgement, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, item 6, matters from board members.
Pardon? There are two matters here. First being Senior Choice Medicare Supplemental Plan renewal. There are no changes to the benefits or cost for the next 12 months, and I would recommend that we approve this. This is from our insurance administrator, Amy Smith.
And I've reviewed this. It's maintaining the current price structure for the next year.
Okay.
So I will concur.
Thank you. And secondly, we have a resolution to the board. Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
you want to comment on this resolution to the board, and a reappointment to the Plan Commission, Sharon Zaney?
I guess on behalf of the city recommends approval of that. I didn't think it would come before us.
Yeah, that,
I didn't either. But,
I didn't even see that on the agenda.
we approved.
Did I take a look at that?
absolutely.
I've not done one before.
Daniel may be,
I think the city has an appointment through the board, one appointment. This would just be a renewal of that.
okay.
Yep. So, yeah, I guess on behalf
Okay with it?
Okay.
of the city, we would recommend that approval.
All right, then I would recommend reappointment of Sharon Zaney to the Plan Commission.
And I'll concur.
That's all I have, Madam President.
Okay. Matters from other department heads or their representatives? Nothing today. Any new business? Old business, we have a couple matters. Item AA, stop work order for Bill Sears.
I have left many messages for Mr. Sears to get in contact with us regarding the stop work order, but I have not received anything back from him yet. At this point, we are not sure if he's going to still contest the stop work order.
Is this the gentleman with the leaves?
Yes.
Yes, and having driven past there to find out what this hole was all about, the hole is actually right up against the building. It appears to me that it would probably be a water line service line because it's in line with the Buffalo box. We've asked him to expose the hole for us, let us see if there's any pipe in there. He has not done that. We had it another stop work order on them for that situation, along with when that we find them with the stop work order for Buffalo Box.
It looks like last week that the hole was covered by a lot of debris of some sort.
Wood,
Is that
tarp.
still the situation?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you were gonna fill it with leaves, I would have thought that would have been done by now and done. But as we asked him to, we would waive it if you would expose a hole, let us see that there's no pipe work being done there. He hasn't done that, hasn't contacted us. It was the owner's brother who was representing him, so the citation is actually on the owner.
So is Bill Sears the owner, or is that the brother?
That's the brother.
That's the brother.
Brian Sears is the owner.
Okay. And we've not had any contact with him either? Okay.
The old Rupp Library that is
Yeah.
a great concern for neighbors, and they're curious constantly about what's going on there and what's the status of it.
So are you recommending that we approve a stop work order? Is that where we're at today, or?
I believe we should take some action here. We said in the board works meeting here that we would waive that if you would expose it. He hasn't done that. I think the stop order should apply. We'll issue a citation for no license, no permit, and switch it to city court
Okay.
or Russell Street at this point. We have so many chances.
That we're gonna issue the citation.
Okay, I will recommend, due to the non-communication from Mr. Sears, that we will issue the citation.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item BB, hearing on dangerous dog. Good morning.
Good morning. On behalf of Mr. Wagner, he would like to ask for 30-day continuance, this being hopefully the last one. He's afraid that he cannot get a fence erected before the ground freezes, but is willing to put up a pen, which he believes he can get up within a matter of a couple weeks. However, he would still like 30 days. In the future, he did say that they do plan to put up the fence, so that is something that he can do when the weather is permitting.
I know last time we were here, we had some issues of non-communication with the landlord, and some difficulty pulling the permit to do the fence because of that.
He agreed to get the fence,
Okay,
but it doesn't look like he got the permit yet. So I'm agreeing to getting the pen, and then 30 days, when the weather gets better, we'll put the fence.
where does the city stand on that? Attorney Smith?
I guess what I would mention is that I believe that the requirement of a fence should be somehow part of the agreement. I know that the issue here is we have a tenant and a landlord, so we may have to have the landlord be party to that
He would have to
agreement.
sign permits or any contracts with any contractors to erect it.
So if maybe Mr. Wagner could get us the contact information for your landlord?
I don't have it with me today.
Okay, could you make sure to provide, we may have it on file, but it'd be easier if there's sometimes they don't give us their most recent phone number
How
and stuff.
big is the kennel gonna be? I mean, it's gonna be big enough for all three animals, right?
If you're
Well,
gonna
I
put all
never
three
have,
in.
I only have one out at a time, so I would only have one in the kennel. I would not, just because they're big and I wouldn't want, even though they have a muzzle, I would rather just have one in the kennel at a time with the muzzle.
That would be our suggestion.
Yeah.
And still, if they're outside being walked, they still have to
They
be
have to have a
muzzled,
muzzle,
correct? You
yes.
still got the liability insurance of 100,000 to this point, correct? All that stuff?
Yes.
And I know that you had, Mr. Wagner, I know you mentioned that you had a quote for the 100,000. Has that insurance policy been obtained yet?
Yeah, it's been obtained.
Can you make sure to provide animal control the proof that that's been paid for and that it's been bound? I'm sure, Ms. Bunner, did you have something? you
I was
needed?
gonna, maybe 10 by 10, okay.
So is animal control agreeable to allowing him to construct the kennel for the dogs temporarily until the fence can be constructed?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
The muzzle will remain on. We're gonna
Muzzle
get
will
proof
remain
of the-
on.
Proof of the 100,000 at least of insurance. We'll get that from Mr. Wagner.
And contact information for the landlord.
Yes, because I think, as Mr. Kearney indicated, we do want to have the fence built. We understand the winter conditions may prevent that. in the near future, but we would probably want to prepare some sort of agreement that we'd put before the Board of Works that the landlord would also sign.
Okay.
That they, I mean, it'll obviously be a decision between the Wagners and the landlord. I don't know who's going to pay for it, but we do want to have the landlord sign off on the 6-foot fence. So I think that, as long as animal control doesn't have an objection to the 30 days. They
No.
doesn't appear they do. We don't, the city doesn't either.
What is the 19th of December?
Sounds right.
Okay, I'll recommend we set this over for status.
I also have a question. So after we comply with everything, would it be possible we can get the fact that they're
Lifted?
declared dangerous lifted, just for the insurance purposes?
Probably, yeah, I get that issue. So we'd probably have to discuss that internally. I want to find out how that finding was reached with animal control and then determine how and if we should lift that.
Okay.
We probably
So
also
does
want to
it- is
discuss this matter with the victims as well.
December 19th adequate time? or do you-
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, we'll take that issue up on the 19th when we do status, okay, sir?
So I have to be back December.
Do we want Mr. Wagner to return on December 19th?
I'm sorry.
Do we want Mr. Wagner to return on December 19th?
Yes, we
for that
would like him
status
to
hearing?
return on the 19th, and also by that time, hopefully we'll have an agreement in place with the landlord, the Wagners, and animal control.
Great. Okay,
All right, I'll recommend we set this over for status for 30 days until December 19th, 2019.
and I'll concur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 10, meeting is open to the public. Is anyone in the public wishing to speak?
Come on. Nobody?
I could, but.
Good.
Okay. All right, I'll recommend we adjourn the meeting.
And I'll concur.